Welcome everyone. The topic for the day would be entrepreneurial leadership. We will be talking about entrepreneurial leadership in this video. So, first and foremost thing is leadership. What do we understand by leadership? Remember, leadership is a person who is basically gaining the confidence and a trust of a number of people and directing them towards a particular goals or an objective. So it is nothing but involves the pointing the way, creating and communicating the entrepreneur's visions of the firm. This is where you are motivating them, working, making them work towards a particular goal. So whereas in a business that is grows larger and more matured, so that is what we looking into it. Leadership qualities of founders is a tolerance of ambiguity, a capacity for adaptations. This is what we ensure upon it. Leadership, remember, and the qualities, a tolerance for ambiguity, as in ambiguity, as in diversity, people from different background, different perspective, different point of views, different habits, and so on and so forth, and definitely making the most use of them is the capacity for adaptations. And as an entrepreneur, you need to have these as an essential elements in your personality. So basically focusing on an objective, motivating employees or workers or stakeholders to work towards the achievement of the so-called objective is what is entrepreneurial leadership is all about it. Now, what makes an effective leader? A person who is focused intently on attaining a firm's goals? Definitely yes. As an entrepreneurs, we are looking towards to fill up a gap in the society or the demand that needs to be fulfilled in lieu of profit. And this gap identification and fulfilling of the objectives remains the prime importance. One who creates a significant personal relationships with employee based on loyalty and respect. One who directly influences employees' understanding of how the firm operates. Definitely yes. Be it the ethics, one who make the firm attractive to the new employees, is what the entrepreneurial leadership is all about it. Remember, they are not only achieving the objectives but ensuring there is never a dearth of talent, and they're attracting the right talent towards the organization is what makes an effective entrepreneurial leader. Remember the styles. There are only six styles of leadership. They are cohesive leaders, which demand immediate compliances, as in whatever the requirement is all about it. Then we have the authoritative leaders. What is this authoritative leaders? Is basically selling an objectives, a goal towards to his or her employees, as in, and these objectives or goals are nothing but a vision that the entrepreneurs has already set himself or herself for. We have the affiliative leaders, which creates an emotional bonding among the persons. Definitely, as a sense of camaraderie, a sense of brotherhood among the people, which enables the organization to march forward in the attainment of the goal. Then we have the democratic leaders, which is based on numbers of people voting or agreeing to a certain facts and resulting in a proper directions of the organization. This is what exactly is meant about it. Thereby is a pace setting leader setting high standards and high expectations. Coaching leaders would develop people from the scratch and improvising upon their capabilities and improving their potential thereby. So the leadership styles are cohesive leaders, authoritative leaders, affiliative leaders, democratic leaders, pace setter leaders, and coaching leaders that goes around it. Leaders that build enthusiasm. This is what we are looking into it. There are only three things that can be done around. One is of empowerment, work teams, and benefit. When you empower, when you give credit, when you give responsibility, to employees to make a decision and take action on their own and be responsible for the outcome. Thereby the outcome might be unfavorable but or against them, but infuse a sense of confidence, and that is what we are looking as an empowerment is concerned. Work teams are groups of self-managed employees with complete freedom or partial freedom to function with close supervision. This is the work team. Now, if you can solicit the example of project-based cases where there have been project being handed over to team and the project team are completely at liberty to finish the project the way they want to do it. At the end of the day, the project objective should be met. So benefits are workers are more satisfied with their working environment and productivity and profitabilities are enhanced. And should I use the word ensured also, because when employees are empowered, when there are work teams there, when there's a brotherlyhood, when there's a camaraderie in an organization, there is a work satisfaction, we feeling, and definitely achievement of objectives becomes very easy. Steps to positive attitude is to recognize the accomplishment at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you need to understand what have you gained, what have you lost, what have you what are the change scenario is all about it. At the close of the business, take time to set goals for the next day. Take care of yourself. Spend time with friends who are upbeat. Imagine your way to success. You use thoughts of failure as a signal to turn your attention back to achievement. This is what we are all about it. This is how it should be taken care of. Distinctive characteristics of a small firm management, professional level management, the managerial weaknesses, the firm growth, the practices, the resource constraint, and the founders as a manager. Now, this is what we are talking about a small firm management. If you look into it, there are basically five characteristics. It is all wherein you don't have a team wherein the founders himself or herself is acting as the manager. There's a dearth of resources. There is an absence, should I say, no viable organizational culture. So this is all the distinctive characteristics of a small firm matters that comes around here. So 1%. When in a growth stage, it's a 1% operation. In the stage two would be a player coach, where even there is a little way of delegation coming up. And stage three delegation improvises by leaps and bounds. And by stage four, everybody would have been a formal organization. They know they are aware of their duties and responsibilities. Remember, when I say about entrepreneurial leadership, in a stage one operation does all the work by themselves, including the customer handling, including the manufacturing, including the operations and everything. But as it grows, it continues to do, and some sort of delegation happens when people are being hired and supervised. Stage three is probably at this case, in this case, when you have a little bit of a management coming in, wherein you are having supervisors, managers, director being appointed and looked into it. Formal organization is using plans, using budget, following policies and procedures thereby. So managing versus doing. Stage one is 1 to 1%. Absolutely time being spent, which I've been trying to tell it to you. Stage two is player to coach process, wherein the time which is being to be managed has improved to 25 percentage of the sale, whereas still 75% of the time has been doing out here. In stage 3, if you look into it, approximately 66% of the time has been done in managing, and 33% is only of the hand holding affair. In the formal organization, very least thing has to be done probably, and we have approximately maximum amount of time which is being spent on managing. So you see managing versus doing for an entrepreneurial leadership, which clearly shows how it matures over a period of time. and how the organization grows multiple times. Managerial task of an entrepreneur is planning the activities, creating the structures, controlling the resources, and leading and delegating. These are the four things that goes around it, wherein a person has to plan, probably then assign responsibilities. After assigning responsibilities, to control the resources, because at the end of the day, this is how he or she as a managers would be looking to lead and delegate. That is the crux of entrepreneurial managers, as the case might be. Let us understand each of these four activities one by one. Remember, the planning activities is the benefit which improvises on your productivity. Until and unless you plan for any sort of eventualities, you will not be able to overcome any issues thereby. So if you can plan ahead, that means productivity seamlessly will be going on. Better focus on goal attainment, increasing the credibility with stakeholders. Then as the time of planning time is tyranny of the urgent. Definitely prioritizing this every now and then. What is required? Planning requires discipline. Planning should never be postponed. Employee participation are an excellent planning resources. I keep on telling it to you. This is an excellent planning resources that comes around. Planning activities, types of plan been going around it. Short range plan, budget plan, business policies, procedures, standard operating procedures. This is what we are looking at it. A firm's overall plan for the futures is a long range plan. The short range plan is a plan that governs the firm operation for a year or less. The budget, the document that expresses the future plan in a monetary term. Business policies are the basic statement that provides guidance for managerial decision. We look into the procedure specific of the work objectives, work methods to be followed in business activity. Standard SOP, standard operating procedures, is an established method of conducting the business activity. Now let us understand creating a structure, the unplanned structure. The structures involves as a firm evolved. This is how from a one-man army to become a multifold organization, multi-dimensional organization, multi-geographically location-based organization. Structure evolves as it grows. Growth creates the need for structural change. The chain of command is very important. The official, the vertical channel of communication in an organization. A channel, remember, should always be two-way communication. The span of control is the number of subordinates. I again repeat, the number of people being reported to one particular person, or the number of subordinates which can be supervised by a singular person. And this singular person might be in a supervisory category, might be in a managerial category, might be in a directorial capacity. Creating a line organizations and all line in a staff organization, a simple organization in which a person reports to one supervisor. That means a perfect line comes around it. But what happens with the staff organization is when we have a lot of branches that comes around, as in with the trees that comes around it. This is what the branches is all about it. An line in a staff organization includes staff who specializes in assisting management. Line activities are contributing directly to the direct objectives of the firm. So in academic institution, academics or education would be the line people. The other associated departmental, let's say the finance, let's say the marketing, would be only a staff activities. The staff activities are the support line activities, and it is true with every organization. Line and staff organization. I am giving you a pictographical representation out here as to the assistant and the human resource managers, production managers, front office, or the financial managers. The case might be in cases of determining the optimum span of control. This is where we are talking about fewer subordinate. It is a very complex work, and inexperienced worker probably, and superior with a limited ability. When we have more subordinate, it means relatively an ease of work is being done, and probably the workers to themselves are very experienced, and the superior would have a definite kind of abilities as far as managing them. But when then people are with many subordinates, it is says that the work is absolutely simple. The workers are very confident, very experienced, been very fluent with their works, and the superior too are of excellent quality that comes around it. Creating an organizational structures is understanding the informal groups, having something in common, having an informal leadership are beneficial if the group goals are aligned with some of the organizational goals that comes around it. We need to understand time and again what can be done and what should be done. Delegating authorities is granting of to a subordinate the right to make decision. Benefit of delegation frees up the superior to perform more tasks, develop subordinate skills, improve two-way communications all the way, time and again, every now and then. This is what we are looking at it. Now we'll talk about controlling operation. The controlling of operation is absolutely on a straight line fashion of from planning to establishing standards to measuring the variances and taking appropriate action. Remember, first and foremost step would be of goal setting, assigning what is expected, and then we execute. We need to set the standards as to what should be done. If there are any variances on the way, we need to remove the anomalies, measure them, and continuously improve upon that, be on the right track, and that is the only we take the right action is what the controlling operation is all about it. Stages of control process, there are three stages or three types of control would I prefer. One is the preventive control, which can be brought under AMC or annual maintenance contract, which can be done every frequently, maybe quarterly, maybe biannually, maybe yearly. The way you want to go around it is just the preventive control. Then comes the concurrent control, which goes on a daily basis as on when on the work has been worked around it. We keep on working around, improving upon the performances. Corrective control is the output stage, is at the end of the day, if things have gone wrong, can we improvise upon it during the inspection of the product? Is that what we are looking out here? Communicating is stimulating two-way communication, conducting periodic reviews sessions to get employee feedback, as in what they understand, are they liking their job, if there are any hindrances that they are not aware of, the management I'm talking about. It is with the help of the employee feedback we can always stimulate communication and remove if there are any pain points that needs to be done addressed. Use boards to keep employee inform of the pending holidays, inform of the raised bonus, informed about any changes in the work structure. Use suggestion box to solicit ideas. Hold staff meeting to discuss problems, to discuss issues. Hold informal meeting with employees to socialize and thereby negotiating. Two-way communication is used to resolve differences in needs, goals, or ideas. Win or lose negotiation, one party must win and the other party has to lose. This is something which I definitely not ascribe to, but then eventually it might happen. But what do I prescribe or what do I like? I love the win-win negotiation wherein both parties find a solution, and if not satisfied 100% but partial satisfaction of their, or should I say the protection of their basic interest is always taken fair. This is what I call a win-win solutions for both the parties. End result of negotiation promotes a long-term continuing relationship. At the end of the day, as an entrepreneurial leadership, we need to understand the sustainability of the business is of prime importance, and it doesn't make any it doesn't help if we are cutting rough edges or brushing by the rough corners of any of the stakeholders. Personal time management is the problem of the time pressure. Many owners, managers work approximately 60 to 80 hours a week. Effect of overwork is inefficient work performance. The term that I would love to utilize is burnout syndrome. People do not perform optimally. If they are being stretched too hard, too thin, they are absolutely weird out. The burnout syndrome actually is much more dissatisfying and unproductive. Time savers for business managers is effective use of time management, how to analyze a normal time, how do they spend around it, eliminate the practice that waste the time, carefully plan the available times. A daily planner to prioritize activities, avoid unpleasant, difficult tasks early in the morning, limit conferences and meeting times, then thereby this helps us by leaps and bounds. Outside management activities is the need for outside assistance. Now, this is where the vendor comes in, wherein the entrepreneur's knowledge or of the industry helps you all together. It helps when the vendor comes, it helps when other stakeholder comes, when people come and join, when organization come and join. It is only augmenting your business altogether to provide opportunities for share ideas with peers to reduce the feeling of loneliness and working in isolation, to have an access to the outsider, detached, objective viewpoint, insights, and idea to gain fresh, absolutely fresh knowledge of methods, approaches, and solutions beyond the experience of the entrepreneur. Let us understand the outside management assistance for an entrepreneurial leadership. This is the business incubator, student consulting teams, service corps, small business development centers, management consultant, entrepreneur network, and these are basically the association, the network, the framework wherein entrepreneurs can vent up their frustration, vent up their feelings, discuss their success points, and so on and so forth. With this, would I will be liking to end up this particular presentation, wherein the service provided by incubators can be different, maybe low cost space, maybe funding availability, credibility, management channel, wherein we are discussing everything as to what thrilled us as an entrepreneur, what helped us in empowering the employees, the entrepreneurial education, the trials and the tribulation that an entrepreneur has to go, the information technologies roles that can be playing a pivotal segment altogether. This is how we wind up the entrepreneurial leadership video presentations for you. I am sure most of you have appreciated these videos and would be greatly benefited thereby. Thank you for watching this video.